Good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at, ladies and gents. I am Kure Isagami, your resident Tinkerer and Medarotter, and this is the Medarot News Network, bringing you all the latest developments and happenings with our favorite pet-fighting robot series. Now, even though we did start January on a relatively quieter note, that was kind of to be expected since the latter end of this month, approximately the 23rd, if memory serves, marks the second anniversary of Medarot S's official public release. So, naturally, to be expected, we do have a lot of big events and some big updates coming soon to commemorate that upcoming anniversary. So with that being said, I did name this week's episode 2 Years of Medarot S to highlight the new models, the upcoming balance changes to the 2.6 update, and much more. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into what was announced in this week's episode. First on the docket was the gacha banners that were highlighted for this week. First on the line is ADV0 Grain, the Archdevil type, with a kit of Metaphor Seal, Confusion, Static, Biped Legs, and the Blowbeat leg ability for passive defense ignore. It is also mentioned and was also stated that Grain is capable of meta change, and in that form he changes his kit to Pile, Destroy, Counterattack, and his leg ability to Adversity. So already an absolute unit and monster of a model by himself. Very excited to see how well he'll perform in the game once that update does come live sometime this Thursday. In addition to him, we do also have a Spotlight rerun of KBT-01 Metabee, with a kit of Missile, Rifle, Gatling, Biped Legs, and the Charge Shot leg ability. So you're pretty solid, generic, all-around balanced shooter type you can almost never go wrong with using. Now, because Metabee is a Spotlight, however, I would recommend pulling for him at your discretion. Not necessarily something that you want to push for in comparison to, say, Grain, but in the case that you do need some balanced shooter parts or you're just now starting out, you generally can never go wrong with making use of Metabee. In addition to these two, we also have KBT-07 Kabuto Benimaru with Fire, Double Gatling, Biped Legs, and the Through Shot leg ability. And then KWG-07, his twin, Kuwagata Baizan, with Sword, Double Beam Sword, Biped Legs, and the Through Fight leg ability. Now, of these two, I honestly have to say the MVP is Kuwagata Baizan, as you can definitely get more mileage and damage bonus out of Beam Sword when properly built. But on top of that, they both also have very solid legs in general with that chance of defense ignore for either shooting or melee attacks respectively. But as if this wasn't enough just to get everything amped up and running, we do also have a second anniversary gacha banner coming up soon that they're calling a present banner. So pretty much how like it was for the first anniversary for those that were there and commemorated it and played through the game up to this point, it basically is one free DX pull, so guaranteed one full set of a 3-star model. This could be anyone from the limited pool or the spotlight pool. So we do have a lot of bots in the permanent banner and the limited banners to make this a rather interesting pull, but there is even a chance you could even pull Grain as denoted by the icon and the art in that banner. So really looking forward. Best of luck, Medarotters, for when you make your special anniversary pull, and that whoever you pull will be someone that you can make very good use of all around. For this week's Fierce Battles, we have GDR0 Gun Desperado with a kit of Rifle, Double Anti-Air, Biped Legs, and the leg ability of Gunman. After that, we have HMM0 Hanu Monkey with Shoot Trap, Heater, Hammer, Biped Legs, and the All-Rounder leg ability. And then last but not least, we have HWK0 Fly Falcon with Triple Napalm, Flight Legs, and the Assail leg ability. So pretty much as kind of denoted, we do have mostly AoE and niche type bots this week. Gun Desperado with the Anti-Air, Hanu Monkey, and Fly Falcon with the scattered AoEs, or AoE in general. Not to say that any of them are particularly bad, but that will make farming rather tricky, and finding an MVP of the week was a little tricky as well, but if anything, I would have to hand it to Gun Desperado, primarily for the fact that anti-air, if you do use it correctly, can be absolutely catastrophic when the part is fully raised, and you are able to meet the condition of using it against a flight-legged model, such as, for instance, Fly Falcon as denoted here. We do also have another upcoming skin, just kind of coattail on the back of the Metabee Spotlight coming out this week, and it is a new skin that colors Metabee like Rokusho, which, honestly, I find rather, off-putting, I guess. Not to say that it's particularly bad, but honestly, I think Rokusho with Metabee's colors kind of pulled off the look just a little bit better. That's just my particular opinion. If this is your thing and you really do like those reverse colors, I'd say go after it because it is a skin. It will be available permanently in the convenience store. I'm just... I'm not really sure what I think of Metakusho, honestly. It's off-putting, but I don't want to say it's terrible. Anyway, moving forward. We do also have some more updates about the 2.6 version coming up soon, very likely with this coming version for the second anniversary. What was highlighted for this week in terms of the 2.6 changes, the first on the docket was that tank legs, or bots that can meta change into tanks specifically, when guarding attacks will gain an additional 30% damage reduction that actually is stackable, which means if you say, for instance, make use of Perun Jelly, for instance, which has the Fortress-like ability, that alone when guarding already gives you a 30% damage reduction when fully capped. But now, once this patch goes live, you more or less will get an up to 60% damage reduction when guarding using that particular leg as an example, since apparently that damage reduction can stack according to this week's episode. So even though my overall grades for tank legs may or may not change just a little bit, I do have to admit that that 30% damage reduction is most certainly nothing to sneeze at either. In addition to that, they did also announce that the player level limit for those that have reached the top can now have the increased level limit from 100 to 110. So as you're passively farming or completing story content or whatever have you, you can now increase your player level cap even higher once you do hit that level 100 milestone. And then last but not least, and honestly I have to say probably the biggest charm and biggest perk of this group of news yet with the 2.6 patch, you can now throw away items in your gift box that you don't need. So say for instance, if you've capped all of your male booster chips for part level up, and they just start kind of piling up in your box unable to be used, now you can throw them away without having to make use of them sitting there for a week and constantly pester you. So if you don't need it, you can now throw it away. So very good quality of life effect there. In addition to what was covered in previous weeks on the 2.6 update with general rebalances and fixes all around, this is going to make for a very exciting change to the meta, and I'm very interested in seeing how these rebalances are going to change or shake up a lot of stuff in competitive meta and in PvP, or even real-time PvP on top of that. Now, as if this wasn't enough up to this point, we do also have yet another story teaser for the current story arc that supposedly was meant to reach an end, but apparently has not. And they also teased that Cross Messiah, the OG starter of Medarot S, is finally getting an upgrade, with the introduction of KXK01 Cross Messiah Z, with an ability to meta change into a beetle-like form. Now, nothing has been officially announced on what Cross Z's kit overall will be, so I'm very interested to see if he'll maintain the exact kit that the OG Cross can do, or if he'll change it up a bit with something a little stronger or a little more utilized. But do stay tuned when that news does come up, and you know for a fact I will for sure be reporting on it. Now, as going back to the second anniversary itself, we do have an event as well to commemorate that, and once again, like standard events in the past, you can challenge it for limited rewards. They have kind of kept a lot of the rewards under wraps this time around, though, so not really sure what the full rewards might be until Thursday comes around and that event shop does open. But they did mention that this event is ticket-based, much like the Ultraman event. So unlike milestone-based, mixed parts are encouraged in this one. So even though you may be tempted to use pure set grain if you do pull him to make use of for that devastating power that he does wield, I would encourage that you scatter those parts to maximize your bonus. Of course, they did not announce anything really high with the Medarot bonuses either, aside from, of course, Medarot Arase for the ticket bonus to add on top of that. And supposedly, if the news was correct, and I did read them translate correctly this week, this event will go on for 2 weeks. So in the first half, they will be highlighting the red tickets as denoted here, and very likely next Thursday, for the latter end of January, we'll be seeing the blue tickets and whoever will be coming up to tail end the latter half of the second anniversary event. Quite personally, since we see Grain as an introduction to spearhead the second anniversary events, I do want to highly anticipate that we might be seeing Particle, the Archangel type, come in as an introduction to spearhead the second half. But don't quote me to that, because we have been surprised and had stuff changed on us more than once. Now, something else that was mentioned from the community and highlighted in the manga, the KBT and KWG Orimeda contest winners have been officially revealed and debuted in the Medarot Reloaded manga with its 200th chapter milestone. The KBT winner is KBT Musha Beetle. Artist is Penguin Kotak, who I've had a chance to speak with and talk a little bit more about the design. And honestly, I really do like this design. With the Oriental Samurai armor design, apparently according to Penguin as well, and if the translation was accurate, it seems the head is going to be more of a defense-based skill this time. Right now we're discussing either between melee guard or some kind of counter, but nothing official as of yet. Arms may or may not be rifle and power rifle, but again, nothing officially confirmed just yet, aside from inferences made in the chapters in the panels on the manga itself. And then the KWG winner that was announced is KWG Kairen, artist by Pochifu Ko. According to them, the kit for this one is Thunder, Sword, and Charge Blade, with no word on a leg ability outright. So something I do have to make note of with these two winners, unlike most other KBT and KWGs, which tend to have some kind of noticeable resemblance between the two, despite being counterparts, these two are very starkly different between the two. Musha Beetle having that classical or ancient kind of motif of a samurai armor, and then Kairen having that more cybernetic and futuristic look. So I do highly anticipate we may see these two in Medarot S sometime soon, much like they did with Yak Spider and Torito Beetle with a manga collab / event. So do stay tuned on that, and I will be sure to keep you guys reported on more word on that as time goes forward from here. And as if this wasn't enough for the community, yet another major breakthrough in the community has been made recently, and that is that the Medabots TCG game has been finally made playable officially in English. A Discord user fairly recently by the name of Tyler Conley, I do apologize if I pronounce that incorrectly if you are watching, my friend, has completed a successful playthrough of the game and shown pictures to show just how the cards are set up and how to play. I do hope to reach out to him sometime soon and get more of an interview on how exactly the game is played, as I have taken a look out of the rules in times past, and not gonna lie, the rules are a little confusing at first glance if you don't know what you're doing, so I am looking forward to that. I may or may not put an episode on it too, just to kind of break that down, depending on how well that conversation interview goes. Just to highlight as well, another Discord user in our community named Pointing and Laughing was part of, if not the original spearhead for translating the Medabots TCG card game. Of course, seeing this thing in action made him absolutely elated, and for every reason under the sun, as yet another piece of Lost Medabots merch has been officially translated for the Western community to enjoy by the fans, for the fans. So really looking forward to seeing more details on this. If people are willing to maybe put it together for, say, Tabletop Simulator for Steam or anything of the like, I may or may not touch on that if that development does go forward. But aside from all that, any other major news is that we are still continually looking for translators for the Medabot Reloaded and the Medarot 3 translation projects. We do have a lot of code and a lot of text and a lot of chapters that do need translated for both of those, so if you do have any knowledge of coding, cleaning, or Japanese and have some time on your hands, we are more than appreciative of any efforts that you'd be willing to contribute. And if you have any questions on that, you can of course reach out to me or join our Discord and our community in the links provided in the comments below, and we can get you up to speed on what needs done and what still needs worked on. But excluding all this, I believe that covers just about everything for the first half of the second anniversary of Medarot S, so thanks again for stopping by, folks. It is always happy to have you in. If you'd like to know more, you can follow us below at the Medarot News Network page on Facebook, and the Medabots Forever community also there. You can also join us on Discord in the link provided and in the comments below to stay up to date and even more so, keep an ear more so to the ground for anything related to Medarot here on the Western Front or on the JP run. To keep up to date on anything going on. You can also reach out to me personally on Twitter at IsaGamiKura for any suggestions, feedback, or comments, or ideas for things that you think I should cover in future videos. I've got a couple of ideas and feedback, especially from a poll I did recently on what I should do on the slower weeks when there really isn't anything to report on, and you guys seem to really like the idea of me doing a lot more of the Row Battle Studies 101 thing that I did a couple of weeks ago, where I basically take particular mechanics or behaviors and kind of break them down and make them easy to understand with a simple tutorial or walkthrough. On top of that, it was also mentioned maybe a virtual tour of the game and how to play and how to manage the menus, as maybe for those where reading the comprehensive guides may not be an option. I can definitely coordinate into working that into the schedule as well at some point. Do also give these fine pages a follow to the official Medabots page at Medarotcha on Twitter and the official Medarot S page at Medarot S, where they keep up to date on anything related to Medarot naturally, and the Medarot S page will post and retweet just about anything related to the game naturally. So if you'd like to keep some Medabots and Medarot in your feed, do give both of these a follow to keep an ear closest to the ground on anything related to the series. But aside from all this, I believe that covers just about everything like I mentioned, so thanks again for stopping by, folks. It's always happy to have you in for a visit. Until next time, this is your host, Kura Isagami of the Medarot News Network, signing out.